Hi, and welcome to Whitetail Edge. This week, we're going to join team member Tim Woods and his wife Candice in the late season of Ohio as they're after some great big deer.
Was this deer taken during the archery season?
How can anybody do this, man?
For archery, press 1. For gun, press 2.
Welcome to Season 2 of Whitetail Edge.
What type of bow was used?
We killed 11 bucks, averaging 161 inches across the board.
For a buck with antlers, press 1.
We hope you enjoy it.
Whitetail Edge is presented by Black Widow Deer Lures.
So as you all know, me and Tim have been kind of together doing some filming stuff off and on for quite some time now, clear back into 2006, I believe. We won the Drury Outdoors Dream Season in 2007 together. We used to live pretty close together. Now we live about 2.5 hours apart from each other. So we don't really get to hunt together very often, but we still communicate all the time and talk. And Tim's become a Whitetail Properties real estate agent, selling land and, trying to help people get into the, farms of their dreams. And he's a great guy for it because he knows so much about deer and land and farms and, how things work. And he's just a hard worker. Tim's one of the hardest working guys I've known in my whole life. And another cool thing about Tim is he raises bloodhound deer trackers.
Their bark's worse than their bite. Girls!
Those dogs change people's lives when they find deer. So that's a really cool thing about Tim. And, just hang with us here as they go after some late season bucks.
You're all right. You're all right. Come on, come on. Oh, get down. Yes.
I met a guy by the name of Casey Morton, and through one thing or another, he ended up getting me a pup. I was very blessed in the aspect that I got a female pup, her name's Sis, and she is phenomenal.
Sis is, she's 4 years old. She is at 89 recoveries, I believe. So that's pretty good. I mean, she's a real deal.
I mean, she has made us look really good in the past. We're getting the credit for it. Our clients are thinking, oh man, you guys are awesome. But in reality, the dog just saved our butt.
Ruby's at 17. Like I said, she's only 2, but she's a work in progress. She's coming along. Her prey drive's there. Treats a deer when she gets on it. She wants it.
That time of year, I'm so busy in the fall, with clients and stuff coming in and running the hounds. And, whenever I have a spare evening, I try and take the kids hunting. When I do get a chance to hunt, it's typically late season when our busy times kind of slowed down a little bit. A lot of guys like to take their significant other, and I'm no different. When Candice and I got married, she grew up around hunting, killed a few deer. She's been blessed. She's got a good guide, but we've, through the years, I've usually given her the opportunity to shoot first. I had the one farm where we had a couple old mature bucks that, they were prime and they were ready to die.
Watch out, Candice is looking right at us. Just let him come.
So why does Whitetail Edge use Black Widow deer lures? It's 100% pure whitetail deer urines. It's never brown or broken down. Black Widow deer lures are always fresh, collected and bottled within 24 hours of collection to guarantee freshness. So why should you use Black Widow deer lures? Because it works. Visit www.blackwidowdeerlures.com.
So where we're hunting, it's kind of on an inside corner. We got a couple ridges and a couple ditches that create a funnel. And these deer, when they come up out of the bedding areas, they come up on these ridges and they're up on a little bit of a high spot, and they can see down into this field, from standing where they are, and they can enter it, feeling safe. So I've got this redneck soft-sided blind, you know, right there about 40 yards off the inside corner.
Just make a good shot. Don't look for the arrow. You shot way over. Just relax. You shot like way over.
I saw that. There's no way.
No way.
He's gonna come through the fence gap, you know, that I opened up for him. He comes out there, and we sail on right over top of his back.
What'd you do?
I have no idea. I reached up for 35. My hand on 35. I squeezed.
You hit your arm too.
Then we went back and forth a little bit, you know, and all I could do was laugh pretty much. You know, it is what it is. It's gonna happen. She was disappointed in herself because she knows how hard it is to get an opportunity at a 5.5-year-old deer like that. You know, they don't come around every day. So she was definitely disappointed in herself. And lo and behold, maybe 20 minutes later, here comes the other. And this 8-pointer, he's 6.5. I've got history with this deer. I've got tons of pictures with him. And he's a bully on that farm. And here he comes. And he come out, and he was probably 38, 40 yards. And Candice, after just sailing one over the top of that other deer's back, she just wasn't confident, you know, in herself. She was going through that emotional roller coaster of thinking she's going to get an opportunity to kill a deer, to missing a deer, and oh my God, here's another shooter. So she just wasn't confident. Once they were all out towards the cornfield, we just packed our stuff up and left and lived to fight another day. And I told her, I said, I would really like to take one of them, you know, big bully 8-pointers off the farm. And so I told her, I said, conditions are right, you know, it's brutal cold. So I said, I'm just gonna go sit and try it and see what happens. You know, we had some snow on the ground, and conditions were right for killing a big deer. I get in the blind, you know, it's brutal cold. You know, I'm trying to stay warm. I got the camera set up, and the night before I had, you know, laid eyeballs on a couple, you know, of the deer I wanted to kill.
Big 8's coming in from the northwest, walking right at that big 10. If he's with that hot doe, I don't know what's gonna happen.
You know, and I noticed the night before that he was with that doe. You know, he was pushing her around, and he was trying to keep all the other bucks at bay. So, you know, I just kind of peek out of the corner of the redneck, and I see this doe coming. And mind you, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It doesn't get dark till 5:30. And I'm looking, and all I can see is Rat coming behind her. And I'm like, oh my God, it's that 10-pointer.
Here comes that 10-pointer. I think I'm gonna shoot him. Coming back. Big old 10. I got tons of pictures of him. I know how old he is. He's 4.5. Beautiful deer. Awesome buck.
I made a great shot on the deer. I mean, it was a little bit low, but I mean, it was right behind the shoulder. You know, big 2-blade rage right through him. The deer runs 80 yards, and you can literally see the blood just falling out of the deer. I mean, it's just falling out of him in buckets.
Done. I'm gonna use this. I'm actually sitting here learning. I obviously did not hard shoot him. I may hit him just a little bit behind the heart.
Normally, we wouldn't show this, but for educational purposes, you know, being that I have the hounds, I talk to a lot of guys that make marginal hits on deer and they think they're good and they screw up and they get down out of the tree or they get out of the blind and they track too soon and you bump the deer. You know, it took this deer literally an hour to die, and he was hit 3 inches behind the shoulder and maybe 4 inches up. I mean, it was right in the pocket. You know, like I said, let that be a lesson. I want guys to learn from that.
You know, just imagine if you're not able to see this happen, you're gonna make a mistake by getting down too early. You're just killing these turnips in here. My hands are freezing. Been holding binoculars non-stop. Here we go. Beautiful buck. Heavy. Great mass. Beams almost come around touch. Good twos. 10, probably 11-inch two. 10.5-inch twos. He's not real wide. He's narrow. But man, he's just stacked in there. Great buck. It's cold. This late season hunting can be mind over matter. And it's typically the time of year I live for. I love it when it's late season like this. Great deer, 4.5-year-old 10-pointer. I'm very happy with this deer. Actually got to hunt a little bit this year. Got to see a little bit of rutting activity. Power these turnips. These deer just pounding these turnips right now. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thanks for tuning in, Whitetail Edge. We'll see you next week.
Stay tuned for scenes of next week's episode. Whitetail Edge is brought to you by Black Widow Deer Lures, Hoyt, Rocky, Hawk Tree Stands, Rogue Bowstrings, Redneck Hunting Blinds, Rage Broadheads, True Fire Releases, Ohio Food Plot Services, HHA Sports, Antler King, HD200 Ionic Mineral, Upwind Odor Elimination, Big Time, Black Eagle Arrows, BRONC Box, Exodus Trail Cameras, Wicked Ridge Outfitters, and by Woodbury Outfitters.
Well, that'll show you what a redneck blind will do. This is a redneck ghillie blind. It's a female. You can set it the first or second day, and those deer will be in front of it. It doesn't bother them. Watch all these other deer right here.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.